forgot to share with you about distance learning. I don't know if you have seen the craze on Facebook about Bitmoji classrooms. There is a Facebook group, there's lots of them, but the one that I'm part of is Bitmoji Craze for Educators. That's what it's called, Bitmoji Craze for Educators. And they have got all kinds of templates. A Bitmoji classroom is made out of Google Slides. And what you can do is you create a virtual classroom. And the classroom has links to videos or readings or books or templates or whatever, and you push it out through Google Classroom. I have curated a number of the ones that I thought were most useful. What is in here are copies. They share their templates with you, so all you have to do is change your little Bitmoji person. You do that by adding Bitmoji extension to your Chrome, and then if you have a Bitmoji on your phone, it will import your Bitmoji from your phone. And that's just it's a free app. But what I have on here is these folks have already curated like backgrounds. They've curated stuff like desks and couches and lamps and rugs and walls and things like that. I did include in here for your, I know we're social studies, but you know, I know that every time we tend to have a PD or professional learning, the math people go, oh, you never do anything for math. Here's a nice notebook. I love the way this is set up. So if you're looking for ideas to set up a digital notebook, this one is set up fantastically. So it's really great. This is linked on the website. And so you should be able to get in here. The only request I make is please make a copy for yourself. I will be dumping more things into this folder as I find them. I will tell you this, that you can sign into Facebook from your computer station and tag these yourself, put these in your drive yourself if you want to, but I'm also going to curate more. There's lots of different ideas in classrooms. There was one that I saw that was great. Someone had created, and I thought it was brilliant because I'd actually thought about doing this. There was somebody who had curated a virtual Bitmoji outside classroom, going to every single one of the Native American cultural regions and putting the pieces in there, and then you click on the pieces to read more about it. So I'm thinking for historical areas, you can find a piece of artwork and almost do an interactive piece of artwork that you're going to be focusing on and using as your central piece for that lesson. A suggestion with these Bitmoji classrooms. Everything that there's tons of how-to videos on YouTube. I mean, tons of them. Again, this is a rabbit hole you could spend the next month on and probably just scratch the surface. It really depends on what you want for your classroom. My suggestion is take your template and use that template for your week and just do, here's Monday, here's what we're going to do, Tuesday, and that way they can just click on what they need to do. The other thing is that they said if you don't want them moving all the little bits and like putting a lamp on your head, is you create a screenshot of your background and then add your other links in there from that. Okay, and you can always make it a view only until, or if you do an assignment, they can put the lamp on your head, I guess, if you want them to, you know. But this is a fantastic way, especially for some of our younger students, that would be a very colorful way to engage with them, and you can make it look like your classroom. You know, I'm thinking about this when you set rules and norms for about your first days. I might have a little mini poster back here talking about what are the classroom norms while we're online. And I have that right there. And if they can't see it, they click on it and there's a Google Doc. So they can always see it. You know, you can put your QR code right behind your head. Click on this for attendance today. Done. So there are ways to use the Bitmoji classroom. I highly recommend spending some time kind of exploring that. It is getting more and more and more popular. It's really, really popular with elementary folks. Guys, if you are in elementary school, I highly recommend you go kind of hop down the rabbit hole because there are tons of ideas for every grade level. tons of them. High school and middle school, I haven't seen as many, I'll be honest with you, but I think this is a way to provide some color and some variety for students that maybe are used to having a very digital rich environment, if that makes sense, because you know that they have been here all summer long, and probably since March. So, you know, heck, you could embed a TikTok. You know, you can embed a place where they could upload a TikTok for you or something. So that's that. Another one, Nearpod. How many of you are familiar with Nearpod? Love me some Nearpod. Nearpod is fantastic. It is free. There is a paid version, but it is free. What you can do in here is you can create an interactive presentation. So what you could do, in the free version, you only have the live lesson. I don't think you have student pace unless they've changed it. We do have it now? Okay, then if you've got student paced, even better. So what you do with this is you can pull your PowerPoint slides from Google Classroom or from PowerPoint into this. You can add assessment slides, you can add polls, you can add a short answer, you can create a drawing. There are all kinds of slides in here to check for understanding that you can have students do. So you could build an entire lesson only on Nearpod. You can embed your links in here for your sources. You can put your sources on these slides. This is fabulous. There's all kinds of how-to videos on Nearpod on YouTube as well. Highly recommend this. Put this in your tool belt in case we go to distance learning. This will help keep you sane. Okay? So I wanted to share those with you. All right. So now, get back here for a second. Now we get to the meat and potatoes of the thing. Assessment. So, first of all, like I've been saying all day, assessment's built into inquiry. It's built into every piece of inquiry. It's built into it, and if you start thinking with an inquiry mindset, you're going to have assessment built in, okay? KDE has offered guidance. That is this sheet of paper that I have handed you. It's in here, it's towards the back. I think it was right in front of the Taking Informed Action. Now, some highlights on this, and I want you guys to hear this clearly. I was part of the focus group that was with Pearson that looked at assessment items at 5th grade, 8th grade, and 11th grade. I was also part of the item review for 8th grade. So I have seen what is on this test, and there are certain things I can tell you and certain things I cannot tell you. But I will say this before going on. I hope you hear what I cannot say. Okay? So, every single standard is eligible for assessment. The assessments are going to be at grade 5, 8, and 11. It's going to be called KPREP. Okay? What I want you to understand is that if you are assessed at grade 5, it's going to be in grade 5 language, but it may be assessing a kindergarten standard. I will say that the items were written brilliantly. Brilliantly. And they shatter anything you've ever seen on KPREP, even though you weren't supposed to have seen it. We all know the truth of that. Okay, if you're proctoring, you're going to see it. The blueprint is 25% for each of the disciplinary standards. So there's 25% civics, 25% econ, 25% history, 25% geography. And of that 25%, or of that 100%, 50% of it is dual aligned with an inquiry standard. We are the first state that is going to dual alignment. Now I want you to let that ponder and roll around in your head for a second. They are aligning an inquiry standard with a discipline standard for half of the test. If you are not teaching using inquiry in your classroom, your kids are already down by 50%. That is huge. Okay? The test component items. And I will say this for KDE. When we went through the focus group and they said, what do you want to know? What do you want teachers to know? We'll ask the assessment folks if we can get it out. The assessment folks, everything that is in this is what we asked for. We didn't get denied anything. We knew better to ask for, can you please tell them like what the questions will look like? And we were told, no, that's what the field test is for. The components, so I want to go over these a minute. Standalone items. These are your traditionals. These are your traditional test questions. You have individual items, and you also have whole sets. A standalone item, oh, I'm sorry, no, that's not right. They are single aligned or dual aligned. There are multiple choice and multiple select. So when you start thinking about assessment for your students, you want them practicing these types of assessment questions. They also have technology enhanced. We've never seen that in social studies. A technology enhanced could include, but is not limited to, because I can't think of them all. Drag and drop, classification, sorting, resequencing, hotspots, you know, like ThingLink, when you think about ThingLink and you click on stuff.